Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 custom match here on the most amazing Noxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the Northwest, starting with Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1's frontline player, then working our way clockwise, we have in Batman Gray, Melon-wise, he is a Seraphim for this match, as a 1500. And in the rear slot here for Team 1, we have in Pac-Man Yellow Mavor as a UEF. He is a 2500, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To his northeast, we have in Royal Blue, Dorset as a Seraphim for this match as a 1200. And the other player here for Team 1 in lightish red pink is One Big Andy as a UEF as a 1200. So for Team 1 side of the map, they only have UEF and Seraphim, so they do not have Cybrins and they do not have Aeons. Starting off with Team 2's more or less frontline player, then working our way clockwise as well. We have in Ruby Red, Momo Uchiha. He is a UEF for this match. Sorry, a Cybrin for this match. Apologies. He is a 1400. To his northeast, we have in Snow White, Mr. Rashy Pants. That's a very interesting image. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 1400 as well. In the rear slot here for Team 2, we have in Amethyst Purple, Swatoslav. He is an Aeon for this match as a 2200, the highest rated player on Team 2. And last but not least here for Team 2, in Regal Purple, we have Omnihaven as a UEF as a 1300. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions. So one UEF, one Seraphim, one Cybrin, one Aeon. And again, Team 1 does not have Cybrin or Aeon technologies available to them. And for 8 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at over 300,000 mass. And it is everywhere. There's little pockets of no mass, but there is essentially, if you want some mass, go walk 5 feet, 5 meters, 5 kilometers, whatever unit of measurement. And it is there. It is everywhere. It is going to be nuts this game, especially with only being 4 players on each team. It's going to ratchet up their ecos quite considerably quickly. So let's go ahead and see what our players are up to. But before we go ahead and do so, let's talk about the mass extractor locations. 300,000 mass to reclaim is a lot. But for longevity in this game, talking about maybe Team 2 side of the map, we'll kind of cut it kind of like an angle. We have this quad mix position over here, and that's really about it for kind of densely populated mass locations. There are, of course, a couple of mass points around our players' main bases and a couple in the middle, but the middle is kind of a wash in terms of land engagements because there's just a lot of shotgunning of all of these little, mountains here. Of course, we get a nice little view on all of the rocks. Obviously, I kind of wish you could see it a little bit further out, but if I zoom in a little bit, let's just take the middle, for example, and kind of just look around. Look at them all. Look at all these rocks. Look at it. Look at all the rocks. It's amazing. Just they are everywhere on this map. But besides, like I said, there's not really a lot of mass extractor locations. So all of these mexes are going to count. Every single one. You need as many upgrades as you can. You need as many mass fabs as you can. You need as many RAS comms as you can. You need to go for your RAS upgrades if your comms sitting in your main base. Anything and everything is going to be very, very important. We already see players are starting to spread out a little bit. We do see that Team 1's Big Andy and Dorset moving in a little bit, but there's not really a lot of movement here from Team 2's commanders. It's 5.5 minutes and no one's really left their main base besides Omnihaven, which has kind of just gone a little detour down here going for the hydrocarbon just to grab an air facility. But there's really no efforts from anybody on Team 2. And frankly, half of Team 1 to really go and explore, but go out and go for, fire basing and going for other mexes. Because it's really not that important. Because usually you do that for getting more mass income, for going for maybe some reclaim in the middle of the map. But with over 300 mass starting, you can just, again, walk 5 feet, and there's a bunch of mass. We've already seen 50,000+ mass already reclaimed from these rocks and all the other nonsense around the map. We do see a little bit of dropping in here from Team 1 and Team 2, a little bit in the middle here from that is Swatoslav, and a little bit over here to the west for Mavor. He's grabbed this quad mix position down here. There also is, of course, that quad mech position that Team 2 can most likely grab, or 1 most likely grab, depending on who goes for that first. So really the only expansionary efforts in terms of mechs as we see so far, primarily driven by Team 1. Team 2 a little bit more, again, focused on the reclaim side of things. We do see Team 1's a little bit ahead in that game, but I'm assuming they're probably just going for the upgrades, just trying to, again, scoop up as much mass as possible, as fast as possible. It does look like Omnihaven's possibly having, he's having a little bit of power issues. That does explain why the difference is a little bit less than, a little bit more than I would expect it to be at this point. You see Team 1's position now kind of getting cut off. We Swadoslav grabbing multiple positions, essentially trying to isolate the middle of the map here from Team 1's One Big Andy. He's, again, that's where a lot of the mass is, right here in the middle of the map. It's everywhere, but it's a huge portion of it is in the middle, and he's trying to essentially isolate everything south of his position under Team 2's control. We do see a couple of engineers outbound from Mavor to get some sort of, reclaim here. There are a couple of bombers essentially waiting for the engineers to drop. Immediately gets an order to drop the bomb and kills off that engineer and a little bit of reclaim, but still that engineer is dead. We do see this engineer is going to be dropped off, and we do see that interceptors and bombers are nearby as well. There is a bomber here from Team 1's. Melonwise kind of just running around. That engineer might get some longevity here, maybe. I don't think it'll get a facility up and running. Probably just going to go for a reclaim and call it a day there. We do see a little bit of some fanning out of units here from Mavor down in the south, but it's very sparse. We see a little bit more of that here from Melonwise, and a small concerted effort here from him as well to get a facility online on this upper plateau and go after this position here for Swadoslav. Swadoslav getting a PD online to protect against any sort of land incursions. There's a lot of T1 facilities online, so even if some bombers knock out some engineers, most of the engineers, all the engineers, it really is going to matter because there's 6 T1 land facilities, actually 5 T1 land facilities, 1 T2. It really isn't going to make any sort of headway in that regard. You do see there's more facilities being built here, and you can see the rocks starting to be, again, just cleansed of this environment. There is, of course, that one engineer still here. It's reclaimed 800 mass, almost 1,000 mass so far for that guy. More engineers, of course, are just throwing everything that they have at scooping up that reclaim. And again, it's more about keeping Team 1 away from the mass, not necessarily trying to push into Team 1's territory, which they have done a tiny bit technically, but not by much. Very big no man's land over here to the northeast. We do see a transport finally at 10 minutes on the clock moving in to grab this quad mech's position. I feel like that should have been grabbed probably a little bit earlier by Team 2, but at a minimum, at least it's being grabbed now, which is better than nothing. We do see the ecos relatively the same for both teams. Team 1 a little bit ahead, and we do see now with Team 2, specifically Swadoslav, grabbing the middle of the map here. That reclaim total is going up quite quickly and is now ahead of Team 1. We do see gun has been started here for Melonwise, and that is done. T2 has been started for both Momo Uchiha and One Big Andy. Swadoslav still in his main base hanging out. T3 Air facility online. I'm assuming T3 Air, also online for Team 1. So again, very similar situations in that regard of just trying to get as much power and control over the map. We do see, of course, in the northeast, large group of Team 1 units mounting here for Dorset and just kind of holding position next to his commander. Lots of interceptors here for Rashi Pants, just trying to get some vision and just kind of keep an eye on what's going on over there and protect his facility over here. T2 PD has been built. It is the Utashala, the T2 version of the PD for the Seraphim. Very good at dealing with T1 units. I would say definitely the Cerberus is a little bit better than that, but there's a little bit of, I wouldn't say delay, but there's a little bit of accuracy missing with, one unit dying and the laser moving to the next target. That's where the Cerberus is nice because it just pumps out shots constantly. We do see that in the middle, Swadoslav, again, still holding position, has a couple of PDs, would probably benefit from some TMD. We do see that T3 land is being spammed up very, very, very far forward. Very cautious, I would say, of playing that because that is a huge investment to get blown up if it does do so. And we do see against his secondary base down here, so he can just kind of upgrade this one if he really needs to, but it is kind of risky putting it. Of course, it cuts down travel time severely. This is where his main base is, all the way in the southeast, and that is where his facility is, very, very, very far forward. So able to spam out the Harbingers very easily. And not only spam out, but again, look at the travel time here as an example from Momo Uchiha. He builds a unit here, and it has to walk all the way over here versus building the facility, let's say here, and only having to walk maybe that far. You see a large group of T1 units also built here for Melon-wise. Team 1 definitely in the T1, T2 stage, and specifically Swadoslav and Momo Uchiha going to T3 immediately, skipping that stage. Of course, they have the mass to spend, so they might as well spend it on the upgrades, because why not at this point? We do see that T3 land is being established here for Melon-wise. It does have T2 air, so pseudo air player T3 land online for One Big Andy, and T3 land about to be established for Dorset in the north. Missile launchers outbound here from One Big Andy, going for T3. Of course, the volcanoes are online for the Aeon faction, which means they can easily deal with those missiles. Again, large groups of missiles, not great, as just any other TMD weapon system, but you know, Volcano can grab at least a couple of them at a time. That's where you gotta have one of those loyalists kind of just put somewhere near the volcano, so one of the missiles once in a while gets redirected and thrown back at the thing that shot it. Loyalists so effective in dealing with missiles. Not so effective, but when you can redirect a Billy Nuke, kind of nice to have that unit kind of in your back pocket. We do see, of course, units down in the south dealing with the rampaging T1 units here from Mavor. Gunship online for him. Of course, there's a lot of loyalists, so they are able to rapidly deploy to locations. Looks like it's just going to be loyalists for a while. Would love to see at least some bricks coming out of this facility here shortly, specifically because that is a decent army building. Small army here also for Omnihaven pushing in. Probably just doing some scouting, just trying to see if Team 1 will fall back if he decides to push in. Couple of Nathas around here for Melon-wise as well, making sure I actually talk about the right player here. And they're being dealt with one of those bouncers nearby, but they do drop some bombs on some nearby mexes. In the middle here, the fight has broken out. Once again, the base is under threat. T3 land facility pumping out Harbingers as fast as humanly possible. We see a lot of T1 PD in the mix, decent amount of war, a couple of Obsidians. Love to see those units. They are very tanky. Even though they are tanks, they are tanky upon tanks. So what is that, double tanky? I don't know how you would phrase that, but a lot of missiles still raining in. A couple of shots, of course, missing because of the environment that both of these players find themselves in. Makes it very difficult to get nice lines of sight, especially with all the missiles are very effective because you don't need line of sight. It's indirect fire versus direct fire. This is one of those maps where indirect fire is definitely going to, not necessarily reign supreme, but play a huge role in dealing with emplacements and systems and whatnot. Melon-wise, throwing off a couple of loyalists, getting some entry for his commander already at 1 star. T3 land facility under threat. T3 land headquarters very, very far forward. Again, cutting down on the travel time here. And for Mavor, it's not as bad. I mean, it's kind of the same situation here for Swadoslav, where if he loses it, it's not a big deal because to be fair, where he loses it, he can always just build a new one. Because by the time that one gets taken offline, he can build another one and start producing more T3 units quickly. So the comment about Swadoslav's position, again, it is risky, but the risk is definitely worth it, specifically in this map, because it's just the getting from where the T3 land facility is to where the main base is, or where the next set of bases are. The time difference is enough to get the other T3 facility online fast enough. We do see more loyalists pumping out here and trying to get an edge around the comm of Melon-wise. We do see he's trying to catch up to them, but it looks like he's not going to be able to do so. If these were bricks, it'd be a different story. He'd have already caught up to them, at least mostly. And they are going to continue to go around this cliffside here and just continue to pressure. There is an avenue of attack right here, so we do see that the loyalists don't have to cut left or cut south or whatever to go around. They can just go straight north. There is an Omni station that is about to be completed, so that would be a nice grab, but I don't know if Momo notices that. He definitely doesn't know it's there, so not really worrisome there. Can't really worry about what you don't know. Lots of T1 fervors here for Swadoslav going after the Flapjacks. Flapjacks just receiving a lot of fire. Artillery, T3 mobile, in fact, now online here for Swaddleslav. Again, now they're hitting the commander who's on an upgrade. The commander will be fine. Looks like he's going for gun. Or, yeah, it's probably, it's not, no, it looks like it's T3 maybe. Yeah, it's on the left arm, so that should be the T3 upgrade because his gun's on his right arm. See, his body's actually twisted around. That must hurt your spine to do that. Yep, T3 is online. We do see that Melonwise pointing out the fact that there are some Loyalists inbound. I don't think he'll lose much. There is a T2 mechs upgrading the T3 that Melonwise might lose, but there already are gunships on the case here from Mavor, so I don't think there's really going to be a huge loss there. A couple of bombers running around for Omnihaven. No one has died, knock on wood, for everybody here of dying before 20 minutes. Someone could magically just depart. That is always a possible case in this game, but in terms of combat, no one's really in danger of dying. The comms really on the front line for Team 1, I mean, they're all of them besides for Pavor. Team 2, no one is on the front line. The closest one being is Omnihaven over here underneath a decent amount of shield and PD coverage. And then the next one would possibly be, I mean, Momo, but he's in his own base. Same here with the other two players. We do see that Swaddleslav has started to leave. And he's going down here. Looks like he's going to upgrade all of his mexes and get those up to T3, at least the ones that he shares with his teammate down there of Omnihaven. Looks like those Loyalists have been dealt with. And yes, one mex was taken offline. The upgrade has been stalled, of course, because the mex is now gone. But one mex isn't the worst thing. It'd be different if the whole base mex, all of the base mexes were taken offline. That'd be a different story. I do love all of the radar systems for Team 1. We have a T3 one right here, a T2 right there, a T2 right there, a bunch of T1s. Lots of intel and lots of backups to ensure that intel is constantly being gathered and being seen by everybody so that PD can see stuff and shoot stuff and all that other lovely, lovely goodness that is this game. We do see that, again, that group of Loyalists getting bigger and bigger. No bricks as of yet. Still going for, again, the rapid deployment units. We do see lots of Titans down here. Are there any Perseus as of yet? There are some Perseus on a transport. Where are you going? Looks like you're going to go down here. There are some Restoros online for the air player of Swaddleslav. He is the Aeon faction, so it definitely makes sense to get some of those. Transport is inbound, moving in to try to go on the edge of the map and get some economic damage on Team 2's side. I do love the fact that the legs for the Perseus actually kind of curl a little bit, so they act a little bit better for the... No, not wind resistance, whatever the whatever it's called. Oh shoot, what's it called? Not, it's wind resistance is the thing they're trying to mitigate. I just forget what it's actually called. Dang it. They design it with cars and everything else in life. Like there's a way to, I can't remember. I cannot for the life of me remember what that is called. But anyway, they're doing that to help mitigate the air resistance essentially. We do see that transport did not engage and is now retreating. It was a nice thought, but we do see that possibly Swaddleslav has spotted the transport, or at least pushed his ASFs in at some point. Don't see... Oh, yeah, he did see something, but the Perseus were dropped, so unfortunately the drop was not destroyed, and the Perseus on board were not eliminated as well. ARAS has been started for Swaddleslav. He's going for mexes as well, of course, just to get his eco further up into the stratosphere. Both teams now over 1,000 mass at 20 minutes. We do see in this base here for Swaddleslav still, it's still receiving some firepower. There are some facilities now online for one big Andy. He is losing a lot of units though. Once he loses most of those missile launches, he does have a spearhead online, but there's a lot of TMD. There's a lot of shield creep a little bit happening. You can kind of see that the shields are getting a little bit closer as time goes on. We do see some labs outbound here from one big Annie just to distract, but I don't think it's going to get very far because there are some Harbingers in the mix as well. In the east, again, very similar thing that's been happening for essentially the past 15 minutes is, yeah, there's units there. Yeah, nothing's really happening. That's it. Not really anything going on in that corner. The southwestern corner has seen a lot more action, and the middle, of course, has seen more of it. I do hear a Strat Bomber. Strat Bomber over here from Team 2's Snow White player of Rashi Pants. And he has gone into the air department as well. So we have 2 air players for Team 2, possibly 3. Actually going to be 3 here for Team 2. Team 1 does have the pseudo air player of Melonwise, plus of course the main air player. Satellite is done for Mavor. He's like, I got to spend that mass on something, but spending it on satellites. And I think that's the only air facility else online for Team 1. We see a large land fight in the south. Restores coming in to assist this loyalist group. Of course, the EMPs wreaking havoc on the weapon systems and everything for these units, essentially nullifying all of the damage output from all of them. And you can't really fire if you're you can't fire if you're EMP'd, and that makes your DPS drop to 0 because you can't fire anything. Of course, the loyalists are weaker, and the EMP doesn't last forever. But still, look at this pressure here from Team 2, essentially cutting off this southern facility for Mavor. Once Team 2 has successfully done that, they're just going to slowly siege and just slowly essentially whittle down all of the defenses and essentially make that a non-issue anymore. We see some flak units online here from Melonwise now. They're driving away those gunships. But they've done their job, though. Team 1's Melonwise cannot send troops in easily. He has to send them now on this kind of western approach. And it's not really going to do very much for Mavor keeping that facility online. We do see that in the east we're seeing a little bit more action. We're seeing Rashi Pants going to send units around the northeast and through the kind of mid-east position. But a lot, if not all of the attention from One Big Andy has been focused on this one point. And Swadoslav has done excellent work with that. He's reclaimed a lot. His count currently sitting at 77,000 and Mavor at 90,000. So lots of mass, of course, has been reclaimed. More mass has been reclaimed than what the mass started with. Over 400,000 of it between these two teams. Transport's trying to do what happened last time. We do see the transport is being shot at. There's one ASF nearby. Maybe they'll drop. Maybe they will. We'll see. Transport is moving in. How far will it go for? Looks like it's going all the way to the main territory here for Swadoslav. And the transport is shot down. All of those Perseus have been eliminated. And that is a nice grouping of reclaim. Looks like about 4,000 or so. Looks like. Oh, almost 4,000. Look at that. Fat Boy is on the line for Team 2's Omni Haven. And that slow siege is starting to emerge. Omni Station online, that's not going to happen or be online for much longer. We do see artillery trying to be spammed up to keep these units moving, but I don't think it's going to work very much well. There's a lot of T3 units online. They are Titans. I would love to see some Perseus in the mix, but they are Titans. So it's, oh no, excuse me, there is a couple of Perseus in there. Not too many, but you know, there's something. And of course the Fat Boy can produce its own units, so it's apparently that one's named Zachary Taylor. Don't know why, but it's named Zachary Taylor for some reason. We do see this attack now brewing inbound from Momo Uchiha. It does encourage Melonwise to push a little bit southward, but in order to save this base, he needs to send them in, and I don't think he's going to fully commit to it. Because it'll be the battle of 4 armies down there, and I don't think Team 1 has the advantage. I just don't see them having the advantage. We do, of course, have that satellite overhead going after some radar systems. Looks like that was a radar. And now going after some mexes. I heard another strat bomber launch something. There's a couple of strat bombers running around over here for Rashi Pants. And there's the fight down there. It started to break out more and more. Fat Boy in full retreat because the Perseus have now emerged. And of course we have those Perseus now coming into line for Team 2. We do see Melonwise Control K. I can't play properly. RMB been effed all game. Don't really know what that's about, but I don't know what RVB stands for off the top of my head. So random. I don't know. But anyways, that does drop the game to a 3v4, unfortunately, in favor of Team 2. I don't count that as a kill for Team 2. That is not a kill. That is a departure. Looks like it was self-inflicted for some reason. I don't think Melonwise was doing too bad, but of course, I'm not as highly skilled or ranked in this game as a 1500 or even a 2500 for that fact. We do see that the attack in the south continues to come forward. Unfortunately, it looks like most of the steam is gone. The Fat Boy is still online, but its shield is down. It's regenning decently quickly, but it's still a lot of that attack power is gone now. Team 1's Mavor has a little bit more time to build up some more defenses. And there are more units inbound. Lots of Titans. Of course, they move quicker. So that's why they're being deployed. It is a full 20 by 20 map, so it's a lot of territory for our players to run around with. We do see some restorers inbound for Swadoslav. They're going after Dorset, it looks like. And they're going to get that kill. There is some AA emplacements nearby. Dorset's not going to feel well. He does have RAS, he does have ARAS, and he does have T2, so a little bit more hit points on board. But that comm is not going to be happy. It's dropping hit points very, very, very quickly here. There we go. 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. There he goes. Team 1 officially loses a player in this game. Not officially, but it's a confirmed kill for Team 2, dropping this game to a 4v2 in favor of Team 2 at 26 minutes. And with that, let's take a look at the game overall while those restorers retreat. Team 2 sitting at 1.3k mass income. Team 1 at 1.2. Looks like there were obviously power issues shifting over units and structures and that sort of thing. Team 1, of course, they just lost Dorset and they just lost Mounwise. And map controls starting to favor Team 2. We do see an attack outbound also from Swadoslav to the middle, going after one being Andy's position. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And of course, as always, thank you, and share and like and comment and do all the fun things that YouTube loves to see with my videos. You do see one big Andy, trying to keep this base online. Not really a lot of air power anymore here in terms of the air-to-ground weaponry for Team 2. So luckily he can survive a little bit longer. There is a strat bomber still throwing bombs at it. It's actually coming in from two different directions here. The bomber does get shot down. The shields are down. And the shields are trying to be rebuilt, but unfortunately one big Andy just can't keep them online. He needs to retreat. I mean, yeah, he might be able to hold. And this base was destroyed here for Swadoslav. He does have an artillery base right here, which is why it was destroyed. There's that secondary base down here, still perfectly fine. But these restorers slowly whittle away that health, dropping below 4,500. He's got to get out of there. Another shot bomber inbound, essentially going to wipe the rest of the remaining hit points. And there he goes. Team 1 loses another player, and it's now a 1v4 in favor of Team 2. And I feel like we've seen this scenario before with yesterday's video. It's not really looking good here for Team 1 in terms of comms left alive. There is a satellite online for Team 2, but it does look like spam satellites are on the mindset for Pavor. Strap bombers inbound going after T3 mexes. Trying to snipe at the eco for Pavor, sitting at 1.2k mass income. So it is now Team Pavor, Pavor, the yellow player, the yellow team, Team 1, the northern team, whatever naming convention you want to give it. Or give him, I should say. That is anything and everything I would probably still say, including Team 1, even though he's the only player remaining. Because technically he is still Team 1. It's just him. That's it. That's all Team 1 has now. We do see Strap Bombers stacking up. We could see a sniper attempt. We could see him just going after the satellites. There's two satellites waiting to be given orders. We do see, of course, they're just mingling over there. Satellite over top of Momo Uchiha's base, going after all the mexes and the P-gens. There's another one over top here for against Omnihaven, going after exactly the same thing. Looks like Pavor's strategy is to just try to stranglehold Team 2 in terms of mass, so they can't produce much, so that he can hold out long enough to go for either spam satellites, go for artillery, go for whatever he wants to do. Because if you don't have mass, you don't have units, you don't have structures, you don't have nothing. You have no money, you got no nothing. You got no nothing. That's a... I think that's a double negative. Yeah, it's a double negative, but it's fine. We do see this base here for Swadoslav being bombarded by some Spearhead T3 mobile missile platforms. That thing has actually killed off 1,000 mass, so it has 2-star veterancy now. Large group of T3 units with some AA coverage here from Momo. Still only going for the Loyalist and Bouncer approach, but again, rapidly deployment units are the main stage unit here for Team 2, at least on this western side. We do see more and more Percys lining this group, and some power issues here for Omnihaven. That's not great because he's dealing with these satellites. Not a great situation here for him. He's built his own satellite, but he doesn't want to lose it. Looks like he's fixed his power situation, so that's good for him. But he doesn't want to do that for too long because those satellites are going to come back and say hi to him. And that is not a good day. Nuke online here for Mr. Ashy Pants. And it is half loaded. First nuke of the game will launch here in about a couple of minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 satellites are online, getting some additional SMD coverage. Love to see it. Get some backups for those backups. Again, but now we're in the stage of the game where Mavor is just trying to keep as many plates spinning as possible. There are 2 monkey lords down here in the south facing up against 1 chicken. 1 chicken will not win that fight. As long as it can at least hug one of the monkeys and kill the other one off, it should be fine. But here come the lasers. They are moving into range here shortly. T3 units coming in to assist as well, and a strict monkey v chicken fight definitely favors the chicken, but with the loyalists coming in to assist. They can't EMP the experimental, of course, because it's not vulnerable to those weapon systems, but there goes the chicken. It's going to get a little bit of AoE on all of these units because of the ion storm. There is a couple of options in the mix here. They're going to try to, again, go after the monkey, which the monkey's just running over some T1AA emplacements. There are some PD being spammed up here, and another chicken inbounds. That monkey's not really going to go anywhere, unfortunately, for Team 2's Momo Chiha. This base for Mavor is still alive. He has some sniper bots over here, so it's going to give a little bit more longer range fighting capabilities. 4 satellites over top here of Swadoslav and Omnihaven's position, getting satellites online and getting shields as well. Second satellite under construction. Looks like that's what those satellites are targeting currently. Nuke is almost loaded, so I don't know where he would throw that. He could throw it over here. 2 chickens sitting guard over there. Base in the rear already being bombarded by a satellite. That's where Dorset died. You could go after 1 big Andy's old base. There's lots of P-gens here that could easily be taken offline with the nuke. Or you could go after the chicken producing facilities over here to the west. So there are some options for the nuke. Strat bombers are inbound though. There's a lot of AA coverage, so I don't know what they're going to go for. Looks like they're going for, it looks like the mechs, but those nukes, not nukes, those strat bombers are going to die before they reach their targets. Looks like they're going after the satellites, but they are all dead. And, well, not all dead. They're almost all dead here for Swadoslav. Bombs do drop, but that's not going to be enough. Looks like they were going for Mavor's comp directly. They do take out some of the shielding for a moment, but man, that's a lot of mass to lose. I think it was about 13, 15 or so strat bombers. I see a lot of mass, of course, a lot of ASFs as well. Team 2's Omnihaven has its own group of ASFs, so Team 2 has air control, if not dominance at this point, which of course explains all the strat bombers. But I feel like those strat bombers could have been used for other things. Nuke is outbound. Is it going for the main base? Is it going for something else? I don't see the icon. I don't see the, what's the, oh, it's, oh, that's why I didn't see it, because it's going after this base over here that doesn't have an SMD, which is fair. That is kind of an annoyance that Team 2 has been dealing with for a while. So taking that off the board would definitely be nice, and that'll be a lot of mass killed for that nuke. Probably about maybe 60,000. I mean, you have T3 mixes, T3 land facilities, headquarters, lots of PD, some units. We'll have to see the actual official count, but obviously there is 0 mass killed because that is the first nuke that it has launched. And there it goes. It lands with no issue, and this group of forces ignoring it entirely. Kaboom! Kills off almost all the facilities, kills off almost all the mexes. And what is the total cost? 103,000. So I definitely underestimated that nuke quite severely. ASF's essentially airlocking for the most part, at least this section of Team 1's main base. Don't really know why they're there. I mean, it's nice to have them, but there's a lot of AA being built and more of it all the time here for Mavor, so keeping those there isn't the best idea. Also, I will point out, T4 experimental artillery, the Mavor has made its appearance. It is not completed yet, but it has made its appearance. Lovely to see that. I also haven't noticed, though, there's a tiny little, like, satellite on that. Oh, there it is right there on top of that Mavor. I don't know if that's, like, targeting data or something, or it receives targeting data or something. Don't have any idea what that does, but most little cool little feature. It has its own little radar dish. Gets its own television on a cable or something. We do see, however, Team 2, with the death of Dorset, Melonwise, and 1 Big Andy, Team 2's Mr. Rashy Pants has been able to push in severely in this northeastern corner, getting his own strat bombers and chicken now online, and pushing Team 1 back again. It's just going to come to the fact of, can Mavor spin enough plates long enough to win the game? Essentially, does he have the APM to withstand the onslaught of Team 2's, all 4 players remaining at 34 minutes. We do see there are some satellites online here for Mavor, and they're still going after this facility. They did take out the satellites that were built. It looks like he's going after Swadoslav specifically. He has now 5 over this position here for these 2 commanders. One of them underneath severe or heavy shield coverage. The other one underneath decent shield coverage as well, and more shields are being built. We do hear some strat bombers launching somewhere in the distance. That army down here is now moving. They don't really have a base to protect anymore, so... Oh, they kind of do, but it's not as good as it used to be. We have groups of armies, of course, moving in, starting to enclose on Team 1's territory. Chicken moving in. Sitting at range, though, going after all of those engineers building that FAF war. The Chicken goes, oh, I need to move a little bit forward. There we go. Going for the Pigeon would definitely actually blow up all of those engineers and stop its construction. And the Pigeon is not dead, but the FAF war is now gone. There goes that Pigeon. That one is gone. There's an Omni satellite, Omni sensor right there. That's not going to feel good. There it goes. Twin land facility for the UEF side of things. That one's going to go down. Lots of strat bombers running around. Satellites now shifting targets over to the air grid. Artillery has been started by Swadoslav. That is possibly dangerous here for Team 1. Nuke, of course, is almost loaded once again. Mass fab farms here for Rashi Pants. He's actually producing the most mass for his team at 500 mass per second. Put that in perspective. The other players on Team 2, excluding Rashi Pants, are producing the same amount of mass roughly as Mavor. So it kind of tells you how much either mass Mavor has lost per second or just how much Rashi Pants is producing alone. We do see that the units inbound from Mavor kind of going one by one, so not really the best engagement scenario here for him. Looks like he's going to regroup and then probably re-engage. It looks like he's actually going to send some of his units south and use the little pond down here to be able to avoid enemy detection. Strat bombers being bombarded quite severely by the AA coverage, and they might get one more pass in, and that might be about it though. In the middle, things have kind of just died down. In the east, things have already been dead for a while. In the southwest, the only real action going down again is just this little army. A couple more T3 units taken offline. One strat bomber does get killed. The other one still somehow alive, less than 100 hit points. But now we see some strat bombers, the ones inbound from Swadoslav, and they have their targets and they're going for them, and there's really nothing much that Team 1's Mavor can do about this. There's the bombs going after all of the AA units. Some of those strat bombers might suffer some PTSD from this, but for the most part they should be fine. More strat bombers also inbound to deal with the rest of the remaining structures for Mavor. Look at that. They're just going after all... Oh, actually, no, they're retreating for the time being. And all of those Perseus have dipped their toes in the water saying, we are getting out of there. See you, bye. And we even see Team 2 countering with their own Perseus to intercept them. So really, nothing's really going to happen down there. We see some chickens inbound here from Mavor producing more of them. And a YOLO, the man, is producing 2 game enders at the same time. One of them is already in the yellow. The other one almost half done. I feel like at this point that Mavor could just spend all of his mass on one thing and kind of call it a day in that regard. It's kind of hard to see the other game ender over there, but it's over there. It's sitting there hanging out. I think he should just pick one and go from there at this point. Those are the only 2 options he has available unless he captured an engineer, which is highly unlikely. He only has Seraphim and UEF Tech. We do see in the south, again, those Perseus, some of them engaged and the rest of them held out in reserve. Strat bombers, where are they? Did they move? I don't think they moved in yet. Strat bombers still running around here for Rashi Pants, getting a little bit of economic damage. A nuke is going to land over here. That's not going to feel good here for Mavor. That's another base. Another set of mexes that'll be taken offline. Strat bombers, oh, they're stacking over there. That's where they're. Nuke is outbound. More chickens being produced by Rashi Pants. How's the satellite going? Well, the air grid's not feeling well, but the satellite's doing decently fine. Now sitting at a little under 50%. We do see the satellite's being rebuilt here by Team 2's Swadoslav. Another nuke outbound from Team 2? Or is it outbound from Team 1? I think that's from Team... Where is it? Oh, it's out here from Team 2. Yeah, I just can't can't see it because it's surrounded by engineers. Looks like they're going for more P-gens to get their power reserves. There it goes. Kaboom! Takes out that chunk of base as well. That's a second nuke. It's killed off 135,000. 30,000, pretty decent. Not as good as the first one, but it's still pretty decent. There is the second nuke inbound, going to essentially just blow up all of the frontline defenses here for Team 1's Mavor. There goes all of those. Kaboom! And takes out a chunk of engineers. It opens the door for the land engagement to happen. Love that assistance there from Momo. He sees that his teammate Omnihaven's like, yes! Blows up this frontline base of PD, and then obviously this position's gone. So two, essentially, not frontline, but Western forces facilities have been wiped off. We do see that those lasers still slowly eking away, slowly carving away at all of that artillery shielding. It's not going well for that arty. We do see that the satellite has been rebuilt pretty much, and more shields definitely need to be built by Team 2 because, yeah, that 5 satellites is definitely a chunk of satellites. 2 chickens go up against 1 chicken here from Team 2. That 1 chicken will die before that second chicken from Team 2 does any sort of economic damage. Looks like the YOLO has been slowed down on its construction, and the Mavor is the one that's getting a lot of its focusing. ASF's waiting to engage any sort of ASF from Team 1's Mavor. We do see a couple of AA units sitting underneath them. Not the best thing. And those chickens actually moved in underneath. And the land army, of course, is over here. We do see a chicken was holding position for a while. Common make me try at least. Common mistake make me try at least. Oh, come on, make me try at least. Okay, I was like, what? I'm trying to figure out what he said, but he's essentially taunting his opponents, trying to play some psychological warfare games. And strat bombers are inbound. Unfortunately, most of them will reach their targets. And that Mavor is not going to feel good. There it goes. Shield is down. Mavor was targeted directly. No chance of resurrecting that thing. Probably could have targeted the pigeons or something else. But still, that's a great grab from... yeah, Swaddle was like, why not Calm? Well, the Calm was a little bit more shielded. So I don't think they would have got him. They could have, but it would have been not as good as going for the experimental that was being built. Why? Rashi, I would say he's dumb. He just chose to deal with the Mavor that was being built, which, again, I do enjoy that play. Finish this game, says Omni. He's like, I just want to be done. It's only been 41 minutes, possibly, so, you know, it could have been longer, but who knows. And in the east, again, large march of Ilshi's. Love to see this army up here. Ilshi's very, very good unit, the T2.5 unit, in my opinion. And now, of course, the Optim is paving the way for those Ilshis to engage, taking out those facilities. And we do see that the slow encroachment of Team 2 is happening. We do see that Fat Boy very much spammed together very, very quickly. Satellite targeting satellites. Satellites in the south going after this base once again. And the artillery was stopped. This artillery here for Team 2, Slaughterslav, is gone. Third nuke online for Rashi Pants. He's just spending his mass on nukes, because why not? At this point, he is producing almost 700. Well, he's at 600. That's probably power related. We do see that Pavor has dropped to 700, a little under 800 mass per second. And a land assault is possibly out of the question. Multiple Fat Boys being produced at the same time. Pavor trying to keep his enemies at bay. We do see a chicken down here in this little lower section. Some units diverted to going after some AA coverage, but most of the main T2 force moving in. Looks like they're going around. A nuke is going to land here, open the door for a nice, easy land invasion. We do see the Optims going after all of the AA coverage. Love to see that, kind of wiping out all of Pavor's defenses. Omnihaven's like, what's going on with... Oh, talking about the nuke, possibly. Nuke defense everywhere else. And that's definitely fair. Yeah, there's nuke defense up here. Can we end this game, says Omni. YOLO, says Momo. No, he has nuke defense. There goes the nuke. Kaboom. Again, not going to be as impressive as the other nukes, but still, 160,000 mass kill. Definitely, of course, worth a couple of nukes that thing has loaded, and more nukes are on the way. We do see some monkeys inbound going after those chickens, and those chickens are dead. Good luck. Those chickens aren't going to survive much longer. The Fat Boy is in range, though, so those monkeys have got to move, or it's not going to be a good day for them. We do see again more chickens and more fat boys moving into again secure the last bastion of hope. Well, the second last bastion of hope for Team 1's Mavor. We do see that the YOLO is still under construction. It is almost in the green, so this thing could survive. The only issue is if this pigeon goes offline, there goes the rest of this shield goes offline. There goes Pavor's power. And we do see that Team 2 is targeting that specifically. We do see strap bombers running around. For Momo, everybody has strap bombers besides Omnihaven. We have strap bombers from Rashi. We have strap bombers from Momo. We have strap bombers from Swadoslav. Of course, he could build, talking about Omni, could have his own strap bombers. I only see T1. He could have had T3 strap bombers at some point. I just don't see them or remember them at any case. Most useful ASF says Swadoslav, don't know what he's talking about, but probably made a moment or comment about something dying to something. Drop bombers looks like they're sizing up that YOLO. And they are moving in. Strap bombers going after the chicken. The chicken is almost dead. Strap bomber goes after the pigeon. The shield for the fat boy. I keep saying pigeon for shield and shield for pigeon. I don't know why. Pigeon gonna go down here shortly. That's gonna be a nice little AoE. The second one's gonna go off. The shielding does hold. Strap bomber's inbound for that SMD. The shielding is down. The shielding is down, and there goes the collapse of the eastern side here. Do not stall, Omni, says Swadoslav. Do not stall, and he stalled. Swadoslav and Omni are exposed. Oh no, Swadoslav is fine. Oh, he's kind of not fine, but he's going to get underneath shield coverage. Ooh, that's not looking good here for Swadoslav. I'm going to split things up and kind of just focus on what's going on down there while the rest of the action occurs over here to the north. Monkeys were killed somewhere. They were killed somewhere. I don't know where they went. We do see that Fat Boys still holding out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fat Boys online. We do see the YOLO is fine. Nuke going to land, but is not going to actually land because there is an SMD still here. I haven't built an ASF in 15 minutes, says Omni. Assist shield, says Swadoslav. And assist the shields. That was the wrong button. Strap bombers inbound, going after the comm. And this is that comment we made that was made earlier. Why don't you go after the comm? Well, the shielding is just thick enough. One satellite is taken offline, so that will leave a little bit of the pressure here from this attack in the south. But still, 4 satellites is nothing to scoff at. We do see that Team 2's land assault is starting to fall behind. Be good if the 2 dudes not being hit by anything made some progress. I mean, they are. They're working on it. SMD does shoot down the nuke. The YOLO is in. Oh, no, it's almost in the green. It's still slowly making its way up there. Even though the YOLO is still on, almost online, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. And artillery is online for Momo. And, again, 3 nukes here for Rashi. Just trying to see if there's anything else going on. The shield's still holding just barely, but it's still holding, so it's better than nothing. The pressure continues to mount. Benjamin Harrison is now dead. I don't recognize the name off the top of my head. I've heard of Zachary Taylor. I just can't place the name right now. Looks like the pressure from those satellites have now gone away. Now I can end the split and go back to the normal viewing as I well, that's not what I meant. Replace the, there it is. I'm going to get it nice and lined up with everything. Well played. I'm giving up, says Omnihaving. Why are we almost done? Where Sats go, says Swadoslav. They're going after all the mass income at this point. Yeah, that's always a weird, dangerous thing when you're like, where did the satellites that were shooting at us go? That's not a good sign. Momo going for a Scathis, because why not? And that artillery still raining in. It's low. I mean, the shields are now being expanded upon a little bit. Lots of engineers assisting that. Omni having control case. He's kind of fed up with the game. And, I mean, maybe he's just tired. Maybe he's playing at 4 a.m. in the morning or something. He just can't stay awake or something. I don't know. I don't really know exactly why, but he's gone. Team 1 does unintentionally. They don't get a kill, but it's now a 3v1, so it's a little bit less pressure off of Pavor, but a little less is not as much as he wants. He probably wants all the pressure. Satellite's now going to go after the artillery and nuke from Team 2's Momo. Momo has 3 nukes loaded. and is not firing into them. He did fire one of them and killed almost 50,000 mass worth. Definitely should fire all 3 of them at some point. 1 nuke loaded over here. 1 nuke loaded over here, about to be 2. That one's about to be 2. That one's about to be 1. 5, 8 nukes about to be loaded or have been loaded, roughly, for Team 2. Maybe they'll just launch all of them at one time. Looks like some P-Gens took a hit, but the core of them are fine. YOLO in the green donut was sent at this and still didn't make it. We do see that now Mavor starting to push out against Team 2. Of course, with all those FAF boys, it kind of encourages that. The Mavor has been restarted. Finish the YOLO, man. Finish the YOLO. It's in the green. It's almost there. The Mavor is already 25% done. You could have finished the YOLO. The YOLO is done, excuse me. It must have just taken some damage. That YOLO is done. And this is Team 1's last hope. Pings go down saying, this is a thing. We got to deal with it. And there it is in all of its glory. If that shield falls, that is a very explosive situation here. Strap bombers are inbound. Looks like they are going for that YOLO. We can see some ASFs. They're shifting back over a little bit. Oh, they see the strats. Are they going to launch the bombs? Some of them will launch. Is it going to be enough to take out the shielding? Yes, it will. It takes out the SMD, and the nuke launches immediately here from Mr. Rashi Pants. That was very close, but unfortunately here for Team 1, that YOLO is dead and gone. You got to launch at least one of them at this point. That nuke is inbound, and it is going to load. You got to fire it immediately. It's already halfway across the map. Artillery raining in. The shield is rebuilt. Nuke going to land up here, taking out more of the mass income. There it is. There's the one and only YOLO of the game. There it goes. And there goes that nuke into the stratosphere. About to not necessarily collide with the nuke, but essentially pass right by it. There it goes. Kaboom. Takes out that YOLO. Probably killed off 300,000 mass with that nuke. No, 200,000 mass. Okay, not that far off. Oh, it's a little far off, but still. A decent chunk. Another nuke inbound. Another nuke inbound. It's just going to be the nukening at this point. Team 2 also has a Awasa bomber and is building more of them all the time. 51 minutes on the clock here, and Mavor, the only thing you got is that Mavor. There goes the nuke. Kaboom! Kills off that section of mass income. He's sitting at 336 mass per second, and he's trying to build the Mavor. Even if he builds it, I don't think it's going to be enough. Definitely unfortunate here for Team 1. There was a comeback on the cards. The satellites were putting a lot of pressure on Team 2, but just wasn't enough. And there goes another nuke up here. Kaboom! Probably goes after trying to snipe those chickens, but they moved. And the Mavor is in the green. The Mavor at over 75% needs more shielding. You only have 2 shields for that thing. You desperately need more, especially with stuff blowing up because of artillery inbound. Need more shielding. There goes an engineer going to build more shielding. The the Mavor is not done yet. We have an attack on the land side of things. That's not going to go anywhere. Another attack over there. That's probably not going to go anywhere. Another attack down here through the middle. Strap bombers are inbound. Are they going to land? They do land. The shielding is too strong, though, just for a couple of them. Another nuke is inbound. I feel like Team 2 at this point now, I mean, obviously I know everything that's going on. Team 2 at this point should just launch all of its nukes. Second artillery online. The one that was being built by Swaddleslove that was destroyed and then now, I guess, rebuilt is enough. Shielding goes offline because of the Awasa bombers. The crash damage lands on top of, or right next to Pavor's commander. Shielding is down. Shielding is down, and now it's back online once again. That artillery is almost done. Mavor built one of them. Will he build a second game ender? We have a chicken being held up by a couple of FAF boys. The artillery pressure from Team 2 is mounting severely. Another shield is back online. Oh, it's going to be close. It is going to be close. There's a decent grouping of a mass. Of course, there's one up there and one up there. YOLO. Wait. Oh, what was that? Is that a YOLO? Does somebody have a YOLO and I don't know about it? Hold on. Does somebody have a YOLO? No, it doesn't. I mean, it looks like a YOLO. Scathis is half done. Apologies for pausing right now. I mean, it looks like somebody has a YOLO. I just don't know about it. Maybe that was just a regular nuke and I just missed it. Oh, it could have been a bomber, but there isn't a bomber nearby. It looked like a YOLO nuke. Weird. Anyway, apologies for that pause there randomly. Get rid of that little menu. That Mavor is about to finish. Mavor could keep this game going for even longer, and yet Mavor is almost done. There is a grouping of units down to the south there for Swadoslav. He took over for Omnihaven's forces. 2 artillery emplacements, 1, 2, 3, 4 nukes, or at least nuke silos at least. There are 3 nukes loaded in that one. There are 1 going to be in that one. That one was just fired, and that one is at 1. Lots of nukes have been loaded. Could have just been another nuke, it looks like. Oh, it's going to be close. The Mavor is about to finish, and it's just going to be, can Mavor survive long enough to do tons of damage to Team 2? There's a donut. Oh, that's not what I meant to happen. Apologies. That donut is inbound. There are some satellites overhead as well. That Mavor is about to finish. You can see the donut in the distance. The threat is inbound. Will that Mavor finish? I think it will. You can see the little square around it slowly fading. There it is. Another game ender has been built by Mavor. There it is. It is inbound. Strat bombers inbound from the south. Dropping on top of that artillery piece. Shields kind of holding. Shields do collapse. And the emitters go down. Also, the Awasa came in and killed off the Mavor before it could do much. Donut gonna land pretty much on top of Mavor, almost next to him. Mavor control case everything, and is like, all right, I'm done. It's fine. It's like, it was close. It was a good one. But I do think that, I mean, Team 2 possibly could have ended the game a little sooner. Specifically, maybe Rashi and Momo had they combined forces a little bit. I mean, he was building a Scathus, which was almost done. So we saw 3 of the 4 game enders in the game. We didn't see the Paragon. That would have had to have been built by Swadoslav, but I highly doubt he was going to build that underneath the constant satellite pressure. Yeah, I mean, the bombers weren't that bad of a choice. They definitely helped break through the initial time. I just do think it was kind of just at some point Mavor was going to crumble, and rather, you know, it be after the Mavor was built, before the Mavor was built, before the second Mavor was started, whatever the case may be. I do think it was on the track to be a loss for Mavor and for Team 1. At least, you know, obviously when 3 players died or left, it kind of doesn't help. And it just goes to show you that APM is one of the most important things in this game, and it's not the direct like source of winning. Just like mass, it's just because you have the most mass income does not mean you're going to win the game. That's not how that works. But it definitely does help. So had the YOLO been online for maybe a couple of nukes, maybe that would have given a little bit of pressure off, or relieved a little bit of pressure here from Team 2. Had a little bit more time to build the Mavor. Maybe that would have come online a little bit and been a little bit online for a little bit longer than just the essentially initial windup. But MVP for this game, it's hard because, you know, Swadoslav did a very good job with air control. Omni did a very good job in conjunction with Momo with the land side of things. Swadoslav did a very good job essentially controlling all of one player's actions right here. Essentially, it was like, hey, here's a big giant decoy, come and say hi kind of thing. It was definitely a combined effort from everybody. And then we had, of course, the pressure from Mr. Rashipans with his nukes and coming in from the east. I don't think I can realistically give a MVP award to anybody in this game. Let me know if you have a choice for MVP. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, family, and your pets. Do all the things that YouTube loves to see. Thank you so very much for watching until the very end of the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.